Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh yay, we're here. It's a Ready Woman weekend. How beautiful. Hey, hey. So happy to be here with you guys, you ladies. Well, and gents too. There's some gents in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be presenting to you, we're gonna be talking about intuitive eating wisdom and how to listen to your body and to give it what it needs. My name is Jeri Tuck, and I am the co-founder and CEO of Holistic Family Network. I'm a holistic wellness coach, dubbed the Wellness Whisperer, and I'm so grateful to be here with you, and I'm grateful for you sharing time and space with me today. Um, I just want to say thank you to Nikisha for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. I always love speaking to the Ready women. You guys are always so receptive and open, and I really appreciate that. I also want to thank all of the other speakers, the sponsors, everybody that um, put something in to make this weekend happen. It's a beautiful thing. As I was promoting yesterday or the other day, I was like, wow, look at that! What we can do whenever we come together. That's the power of community, and I think this is a beautiful demonstration of that. So, anyways, enough of that. So, intuitive eating wisdom. Let me first start. I want to talk about my own personal healing journey. So my healing journey started, it's almost about 5 years, it's almost to the day, like 5 years ago when I actually started working with Keisha. So I had went through this breakup, and it wasn't like a really terrible breakup. It was weird because in that relationship there was nothing really wrong. Like, we were faithful to each other. We were, all of that stuff. But it was something like that. There was something off about it. It was something that was not right. And so when it didn't work out, I was just devastated because I felt like even in a relationship where there's that's different from my past relationships, which were abusive or hurtful or terrible. Even in a relationship that was pretty calm, I still wasn't able to make it work. So I was devastated, and I felt really desperate for solutions. And I remember the first call with Nikisha, and she was just like, I can help you. I can help you. And so at that time, I just found myself asking, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I just feeling like something was just wrong with me. Like, why can't I make things work? And I mean, I don't know if you've ever felt like that, like, what's wrong with me? Do I say, what is it? But anyway, so when I signed on with Nikisha, um, she helped me to realize, she was able to pinpoint and help me to realize that my issue was not with relationships. I had everything that I needed to be a good girlfriend or wife or whatever that I wanted to be at that time. Um, but my biggest issue was self-esteem. I had a huge self-esteem problem. I was always putting myself last. I was always putting myself in situations and relationships that dishonored me, that were disrespectful, and that was just a pattern in my life. And um, because of that relationship that I had with myself, I couldn't trust my decisions. I was always going back and forth. My intuition was off. It was just like I was directionless in a way, and just going off of what other people thought of me, said about me, or said to me. That's how I would gauge how to feel about myself. And so with this healing journey, I was able to um, learn how to build myself up and um, learn how to love myself fully and completely. And so I want to share with you some of the things that I went through, or that I did to to help build myself up. Um, so let me move this. I just missed my. No, I'm good. Okay. Um, I will say that Nikisha was she was the catalyst. She was the starting point for me. She was the catalyst to help me, to help push me into that healing journey. And it's, like I said, a journey I've been on for 5 years, and it doesn't stop. That's the thing about it. It's kind of a beautiful thing, is that it unfolds. More things come up for us to get deeper with our healing and to become more intimate with ourselves. It's kind of a beautiful thing. I started, like I said, with Nikisha, and she really helped me to figure out, learn how to figure out what it is that I wanted out of my life. And she would always say that, we should live a life that's sexy. She'd be like, it should be juicy. It's supposed to be full of bliss. And so that's something that I definitely took with me. So what happened next? Well, I completed the program with Nikisha, and um, I learned during our time together how to, set up healthy boundaries, how to learn how to trust myself, how to love myself. Like I said, love myself, put myself first, how to vote for myself. And at first, I just wasn't sure about, being in a relationship or what I wanted to do next with the relationship. So I knew that I still had some more healing to do. So I continued on my healing journey, and I learned that um, not only does things like, therapy, coaching, does that help, but we can also use things like food, body movement, and things like that to help support our healing as well. And so I continued along that line. And that's how I ended up becoming a coach. Like, okay, well, other people should know that there's other ways to deepen our healing. And so, anyways, after continuing with my journey, my healing, I was able to cancel out a lot of the outside noise and outside clutter. Like, think about, like, I had um, expectations of my parents, of friends, people like that, everything that was like kind of tugging at me and pulling at me. And I had to get rid of all that noise so that I could hear clearly what it is that I wanted for my life. And I don't know if any of you have ever felt that way, but it can be really confusing. It can be like, it's heart-wrenching because you're like, I don't want to disappoint that person. I don't want to disappoint my parents. I don't want to but it's actually, it's your life. So you're the one that has to live. Anyway, so during the time when I got further onto my healing journey, I was able to learn that not only does our body speak to us through our intuition and stuff like that, but our body will tell us, when there's something that it needs physically as well. So the journey continued. And hey, when I decided that, okay, I wanted to get married, I followed the steps. I finally stopped, resisting those last little bits of the process, and I followed all the steps. I made the space for my husband, and I didn't look for him. I mean, before I just allowed him to find me, every man that approached me, I was like, is that him? Is that him? Is that him? Is that him? I was like that. So yeah, so anyway, so my husband, he actually found me. Like, I had to surrender to the process. And we got married. We've been married for 2 years now. It's like, it's pretty crazy. My life is different, like a whole and thanks for the congratulations. But my life is completely different from what it was 5 years ago, and I owe it to the Thank you. I owe it to this healing journey. It's like it's so worth it. And then now that I've gotten into marriage, it's a completely different set of healing. It's a different thing. Like we help to heal each other, so it's like it keeps getting deeper. Like I said, it keeps getting deeper, and it's so beautiful to be on this journey. Now, it doesn't stop there. Hi. We also had a little baby, and actually today is her birthday. Happy birthday, Gianna! So she's one today, and um yeah, like I said, 5 years ago, I would never have expected that my life would take this turn. I had been a single parent all of my life. Well, from the time that I was 17 up until the time that, my husband and I got married. I have been a single parent. I had done everything all on my own. And um, yeah, I never would have thought that I would be like, thank you for the birthday wishes for Gianna. Okay, so enough about me. So let's dive into the subject. Yay! So what is intuitive eating? We're gonna go into what is intuitive eating, what exactly does that mean, right? And there's some ways that you can use your physical body to support your spiritual growth. So intuitive eating, it basically means that you're nourishing your body, you're nourishing your body by giving it what it needs, and what it wants. It's a little bit different from necessarily, not necessarily different from, it's different from cravings. We will go into that in a little bit, but it's learning how to speak your body's language. Our bodies speak to us all the time, and we have to train ourselves to learn what it means when our body is talking to us, and learn to speak our body's language. Like, I don't know, have you guys ever heard of the love languages? Like when you're talking about, between two different people, there's a certain way that people like to be loved. Well, it's the same thing with your body, and it's another relationship. It's like the number one relationship. Um, Going along the lines of intuitive eating, we kind of want to do a mindset shift and go from thinking about diets and move to adopting lifestyle changes. I want you to think about it this way. So um, a lot of times we'll center our diet or our eating habits around a certain event, like, oh, I'm getting married, so I need to get into this dress, or I'm going to this certain party or whatever, so I need to look right. But if it's something that's going to make you feel good about yourself, it's going to make you feel better, it makes you healthier, why not continue? Why just use it for a short period of time? And um, for my private clients, I definitely help them to do that. And we try to shift our thinking from just being on a diet for a short term goal to adopting a new lifestyle change, a new eating habits, healthier eating habits that make us feel good. And instead of, like I said, going from instant gratification where it's just like, oh, I have a certain thing, a certain party that I have to get to, whatever, instead of thinking along those lines, more moving towards long-term results, sustainability, things that make you feel good for a long term. And it's important to know that, we all have choices, and we're faced with choices every day. And sometimes we can feel stuck. We can feel stuck with a certain hand. We can feel stuck with a certain circumstances. But honestly, we all have the choice, and every day, every moment, basically is an opportunity to change if that's what we want. So let's talk a little bit about the mind, body, spirit connection. There's an undeniable connection between our bodies, our mind, our spirits. They're all interconnected. Um, if we take the time to look a little bit deeper, then we can easily see those connections. Um, let me give you an example. Let's say you have like a job interview coming up. Let's do that. You have a job interview coming up, and you're really nervous about it. So then it's not just in your head or that you feel nervous. You might get knots in your stomach. You might be shaking, and that's all that's in connection with this feeling of anxiety or nervousness. Translates into something, a physical reaction inside of your body. So yeah, that's one way that I try to demonstrate that it's, our minds and our bodies, our spirits are all are connected. The other thing of it is it's a pretty well accepted belief that whenever you die, it's not you don't cease to exist. You stop living on this plane, on the planet, on Earth. But then a lot of people think, okay, well, I'm going to heaven, or I go on to the next place, or whatever. So a lot of people understand that we're a spiritual being that's living in a body. Like, I'm not my body. I'm not just my body. I am my spirit. That's what lives inside and animates my body. So we want to think along those lines. That's kind of the direction that I'm going for this, for this dealio. So we want to look at her. She's so beautiful. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. So we want to build an unbreakable bond with our bodies. And a lot of times we become numb because of unprocessed emotions, trauma, just things that happen to us. Sometimes we, in reaction to it, we numb ourselves from it, or we don't deal with it. But that doesn't mean that it goes away. Okay, the emotions and stuff, and unprocessed trauma, it gets stored inside of our bodies, and it's important for us to learn how to work through those things so that it doesn't stay there and stay trapped. Now, I want to give you another little perspective. So, to your body, every cell in your body is working. It's doing its thing. It's doing its job to keep you alive. And that's so powerful. Like, it's a whole reason for its existence, from the time that the cell is born to the time that it dies. It is there working to keep you alive. To your cells, and to your body, you are God. You are the most amazing thing, right? And so just as our bodies are giving us everything that they've got, we have to give back to our bodies as well. And it takes love, it takes care, it takes attention to be able to take care, to be able to care for our bodies and give back to them. Our bodies will give us clues to what it needs. And it's our job to pay attention to those clues so that we can give our bodies the care that it needs, that it desires, or that it longs for. When I was working in an office, it's so funny because you see ladies just like all of a sudden they gotta run to the bathroom. And why is that? They ignore the whispers from their body. Like, their body told them a long time ago, hey, can you go get up, relieve yourself, take care of yourself? But instead, they're sitting there, working away until it's like it's a crisis, it's an emergency. Well, not a crisis, but you gotta go. It's basically you gotta get up and go now. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you had a listen to your body in the first place when the first whisper showed up, it wouldn't have been there wouldn't have been a sense of urgency, and that's in general. Um, and so that's just one of the ways that I've noticed that we sometimes just ignore our bodies. And what do you think that we're telling our body when we won't get up to take care of ourselves, and instead we're focusing on the work that we're doing or whatever task? What you're essentially telling your body is that this work is more important than you. Okay, body, you can wait. This work, whatever I'm doing, this task, it's more important than you. You can wait. And that becomes problematic because um, that breaks down the trust that your body, has for you, you know. So anyway, so as it says here, building a healthy relationship with your body, it takes mutual love, it takes mutual respect, honor, and attention. Now, cravings. I said that we're going to talk about cravings. So these are some of kind of the what's going on um our spirit, or going on for us emotionally when cravings pop up. And if you want to screenshot this, that way you can have this to refer back to. Screenshot it so you can remember. Um, and it's like, okay, when I'm craving sweets, oh, it's because I'm craving joy. I'm craving some sweetness in my life. Salty foods, they come with stress. What I want you to do is to pay attention when you feel a craving come on. If you feel a craving for something, a certain food or whatever, I want you to refer back to this and think about, what is it that I was doing when this craving had hit me? What was I thinking about when the craving hit me? That can be the clue. That's a little clue. Your body giving you a clue that there's something that is bothering you. Um, and yeah, there's something that's bothering you. And so cravings are not just, sometimes it is, oh, okay, I need something salty because I'm low on electrolytes or whatever. Sometimes that's the case, yes. But a lot of the time, if we explore it a little bit further, then sometimes there's something underlying, something going on, like emotional thing going on, that we need to take care of. One thing that you can do if you get a craving is just sip a little bit of water and see if the craving goes away. And then if not, and I know this may be against popular thought, um, give it to your body. Not saying make it, making it a habit or whatever, but every once in a while, if it's really something that you really want, you drink some water and it doesn't go away. Sometimes it's okay to give into that craving, but you but you want to do so with intention and with some awareness. So you don't want to just like scarf down the whole, get the whole bucket of ice cream and scarf it down. No, you want to intentionally separate one serving of it, put it to the side, let your body know, okay, I'm giving you what you want. And when you give into it, enjoy every single bite of it, every little morsel. Just take your time with it and just enjoy it and say, look, body, I'm listening to you. This is what you wanted. I'm giving this to you. And see if after that, the craving goes away. And if not, then more than likely there's something going on, like from here, like from the chart, like there's probably something else going on. um yeah, so we want to tune into our emotions, our cravings, use that as a tool to tune into what it is we may have going on. So I want to also do a little bit of a mindset shift about fighting cravings, because we want to stop fighting. We want to stop hustling. We want to stop doing those things that are not um, nourishing to our spirit, right? Like, I want you to think more along the lines of making healthier choices. And now I've dedicated, or I've committed to myself that I'm going to make healthier choices. So I'm going to align my choices and my actions with what it is that I've now committed to. So instead of saying I'm fighting these cravings, um, you don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. I don't want to hustle. I don't want to do. I just would prefer to align with what it is that I've committed to, with what I've decided that I want for my life. So yeah, like I said, you can indulge in the craving, not necessarily saying give in, not saying fighting, but you say, I'm going to indulge you, body. I'm going to indulge you. I'm going to enjoy this craving, or whatever it was that I was craving. I'm going to enjoy that. And of course, you want to do everything, just as in everything, in moderation. Excess of anything is not a good thing. So like I was talking about before, our bodies store emotions, and it's different organs store different emotions. Like, for example, in the lungs, that's where we store grief. In our breasts, that's where we store anger. Um, in our kidneys, that's where we store fear. That's where we store fear. And so in our womb, in our uterus, whether or not you still have you have an anatomical womb or not, that's where we store trauma, heartbreak. And so you have to learn how to process those things so that you can get it out of your body. Um, Now, I do want to note one part, thinking about, just I want you to think a little bit deeper about our uterus, our womb, and just kind of bring together that mind-body connection. So what is the womb designed to do? It is designed to take a seed and then protect it and grow it and make it bigger until it's ready to be birthed, right? That's its function, more or less, right? So what if the seed is trauma? Or what if the seed is, heartbreak? Then that space in your body, your uterus, your womb, is going to protect that trauma and grow it, make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's when you'll see it affecting the rest of your life in way, it'll affect other areas of your life. That's when you see, you find yourself acting out, you find yourself having these fears that you don't know where they came from, or, they're really powerful or excessive. That's coming from a lot of times that's coming from the unprocessed trauma and emotions that are trapped inside of our bodies. So as we do healing work, we want to release, and these emotions and stuff are going to come up to be healed. It's like, oh, it's time to get better, or we're healing over here. Let me raise my hand. It's my turn. So this stuff, it will come up. Stuff will come up to be healed. One thing that I found that's very helpful is to stay hydrated. And it's like, I want you to think about, drinking water in a different way. It's not just, oh, okay, well, oh, let me drink this water. I want you to be excited about drinking this water, because as you are healing and doing this work and things are coming up to be healed, you don't want them to just stay stuck there in your body. And staying hydrated is one way to help move those toxins out, not just the physical toxins, but the emotional toxins, the spiritual toxins. It's another way to help to support the healing and get those things out of your body. Because, why would you want to hold on to it? You're doing the work to heal. Why would you want that stuff to just stay in your body? So helping, you can help yourself to move it along um, by staying hydrated. Um, Now, when I say staying hydrated, you want to drink at least half of your body weight in ounces. So let's say a person that's 200 pounds, they need to drink 100 ounces of water a day. And that's the minimum, just to be hydrated. So and that may sound like a lot, but what you can do is take that 100 ounces and divide it by 16. And like a water bottle like this is 16 ounces. So once you divide that out, then you know how many of these water bottles that you need, and then it makes it a little bit easier to keep track of. It makes it easier it makes it easier to swallow. Like, okay, well, I have to drink 6 water bottles throughout the whole 24 hours, instead of saying, oh, I need to drink 100 ounces. Like, that just sounds it sounds harder. And then you can just, like, in the morning time, have your 6 water bottles or however many that you need, and that way you can keep track, and throughout the day, just go ahead and drink your water, and it makes it easier. So another thing with staying hydrated, if you don't like the taste of water, or it's hard for you to get the water in, you can eat fruits and vegetables that have high water content. Like, oh my gosh, watermelon is so juicy, it has a lot of water. But you can look and see which fruits and vegetables have like a high water content, and you can replace that serving of fruit or vegetables for one of your servings of water. Right? Hey. And another thing that you can do is, like, have you ever been to like a conference, or you've been to a hotel, and then in the lobby they have um, water that has like cucumbers and limes floating in it or whatever? You can do that too. You can do that too. You can cut up some fruit and put it in, have a pitcher in your fridge, cut up some fruit, make it pretty, make it desirable for you to do it, so that way you can stick to it. Because like I said, it's so valuable to stay hydrated. Not only does it help us to stay clear-minded and all of that stuff, but it's also helping us as we heal and as we grow. So, all right. Okay. So when we have lost connection with our body, or we have numbness in our body, not necessarily tingling and numbness, but excuse me, but numbness along the lines of we're not able to hear from that part of our body, or we're not able to keep the communication is off, or almost non-existent. We want to be able to build up the trust again, so that our body feels more comfortable communicating with us. Hold on, give me just a second. See, drink of water. This is my commercial. Excuse me. So our body feels comfortable communicating with us again. We want to rebuild that trust. Think about it this way. If you had a friend that you're like, okay, you have a secret, and you're like, just, girl, don't tell nobody. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell a soul. And then that friend betrays your trust, then it's hard for you to be vulnerable with them again. It's hard for you to confide in them again. And so your body feels the same way. If I'm telling you, over and over and over that I need attention, but you're not listening to me, then I'm gonna stop, talking unless it's an emergency. And so you want to go ahead and rebuild that trust. Um, and just like an example of the women had to run to the bathroom, things in your body whisper, the communication with your body will start as a whisper. It's going to start, it's really small, it's smart, it starts as a whisper, then it gets louder and louder and louder until you can't ignore it anymore. And you want to get away from waiting until that point where it's an emergency or it's a crisis. You don't want to have to be going through health. And start with small things, even if it is, okay, I um, commit to going to the bathroom, going to relieve myself whenever I first feel that first whisper. Just even that, starting small like that. Or as soon as I feel, I don't know. That's a good one. We'll stay with that. um, so that way you're helping to rebuild the trust. And then as you do that, you'll find that your body's more comfortable to communicate with you. You'll find that your intuition gets stronger. Um, you'll find that um, you have built that unbreakable bond with your body, so you know immediately when something's off. You don't have to wait until there's, like I said, a crisis, a health crisis. We don't want that. We want to steer clear from those. All righty. The other thing that we have to be cautious of or be mindful of is the language. Our words are very powerful. Our words words carry a vibration, and um, you want to pay attention to how you talk about yourself, how you talk to yourself. You, uh, how would your body feel? Like, well, let's go back. Let's stop. I want you to think about a person who has been very critical in your life, a person outside of yourself that has been very critical or mean. And think about how you feel when they cuss you out or they fuss at you or they're, talking crazy. How does that feel? And then think about one of the people in your life who's kind, who's loving, who's supportive. Think about how it feels when you receive love from them. Those are like two very different feelings. And we can foster those feelings within ourselves by the way that we treat ourselves and talk to ourselves. Like, how do you think your body feels when you're like, ooh, girl, this belly, look at you. When all it's doing is its job is to keep you alive, and you're just being critical. So you can always change the language and try not to say things that are, you wouldn't say to a person that you love. You wouldn't tell the person that you love, oh, you're so ugly. Oh, you fat. Oh, you stink. You wouldn't tell that to a person that you love. So you want to treat your body in the same way. And a lot of times, even in jest, even playing, people are like, oh, girl, I'm so stupid. Oh, girl, I'm so broke. Oh, I'm so fat. Oh, I'm so this, I'm so that. And your body doesn't know the sarcasm. Your body takes it seriously. So you want to be mindful of the ways that you talk to yourself. Instead of tearing yourself down, we want to focus on building ourselves up. A friend of mine, one of my nearest and dearest friends, she'll, if one of us gets on that, we're like, oh, girl, I just messed up. I this, that, whatever, getting down on ourselves. And it's like, wait a minute, don't talk about my friend that way. And that's something that I find myself saying to me, to Jeri, when it's like, okay, hold up, you're being hard on yourself. Don't talk about my friend that way. Don't talk about Jeri that way, you know. And we deserve our own kindness. Um, Another thing to help rebuild the trust and rebuild that unbreakable bond between you and your body is to spend quality time with yourself. And what does that look like? That's taking an afternoon off and not just going and running errands and doing busy things and stuff like that. That's taking the time to sit quietly. I don't know how many of us meditate. I love the meditation time. It feels so good to be able to just be for a moment. Journaling, anything where you are, it doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, I'm doing a spa day. It can be just being with yourself and taking the time um, to rest and to listen to your body and um, to take care. Use some of your, you want a lot sometime, at least once a week, to where you take care of you. Um, for me, one of my things that I do, I get up early so that I can be up before the rest of the house, because once the house is up, then they want me, or work or whatever, the demands of life. Another thing I do at least once a week is I do like a detox bath. I go and it's like I shut the door, don't come in there, that's my time for me, and it's very important to take that time out for ourselves. Um, and we're getting towards the end now, but um, one of the most important things in in building that unbreakable bond with your body so that you can hear when it's speaking to you, so you can hear what it wants and what it needs, is to love yourself. And I have flaws in quotations because honestly, perfection, at least in humans, perfection does not exist. There's not one perfect human being. Everybody, your eyeballs are different size, your ears are a different size. There's no such thing as perfection. When we see people on TV or we see people on a magazine or whatever, look at the credits. There's like a team of people that are making sure the light's right, making sure that the hair is, every hair is in place, making sure the makeup is wonderful, making sure that they have the right clothing on for their body, and making sure that they do all of that. Excuse me, for that one image. And that's why it's like, okay, you know what? You need to understand perfection doesn't exist. Everyone has flaws, flaws. Everyone has things about them that make them unique. And so it's important that we accept and love each and every freckle, mole, scar, all of it, because it's a part of us, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful part of ourselves if we learn to love it and accept it. So you want to become your body's most trusted friend, confidant, and ally. Um, just as I was saying before, if someone breaks your trust, you can't be vulnerable with them anymore. And building trust between you and your body, it helps, like I said, your inner voice, your intuition. It naturally becomes louder. It naturally becomes more in tune. This helps us to make easier decisions. There's less mind chatter or negative mind chatter, and there's less going back and forth. Did I do the right thing or not? I used to do that all the time. You want to give your body nourishing foods, things that make you feel good. Um, you want to get to the point where you feel satisfied, like you have not a meal, like not like Thanksgiving where you get the itis, but like a meal that's just satisfying and it feels good and it feels good in your body. Um, you want to have those kind of meals more often than not. Um, and of course, like I said, staying hydrated. And then there's some other tools that you can use, like cleanses, detoxes, elimination diets, and that kind of diet I co-sign because it does have a specific purpose. But basically, adopting a healthier lifestyle that helps you to feel good and helps you feel better in your body. So that's all I have for today, and I think I have like a couple minutes if anybody has any questions. If you have any questions, please put it in the chat. Um, and again, thank you so much for listening, for taking the time.